What is going on, everyone? This is the Aqua team coming back at you with another sales training. Every Thursday, we sit down and we take a look at some aspect of negotiation and try to get better at that. We are primarily wholesalers. We focus on wholesaling in Baltimore, Maryland, and across the nation. We are starting to expand, but primarily in the Baltimore, Maryland, and greater Baltimore area is where we stake our flag. Wholesaling, what is that? It's the art of finding discounted properties, and what you do from that after that is really up to you. But it all starts with finding a property at the right price. You probably heard that truth, that you make your money at the buy. And so what we do is we help people make their money at the buy by helping solve problems and create opportunities for income and wealth through real estate. And so if we're helping a seller solve a problem, they're usually going to allow us to trade speed and convenience for a discounted price. Think pawn shops. Someone is going into a pawn shop and are sharing items that sometimes are really close to them or of great value, and they're sharing it at a discount because they need those funds to solve some issue going on in their life. And then think about our investors. They need the property at the right price so that they can actually make money off of it. And so it is very difficult to do that at the more traditional route, where you go to the multiple listing service like MLS and you're making offers over and over. Many of the folks on the MLS or the traditional way of buying want the full market value, and it's just very difficult to make sustainable cash flow or funds or money through a flip if you're buying it at such a high price. And so that's where folks like the Aqua team comes in, and we are talking directly to sellers and hopefully locking these deals up at a discount price while also serving them by adding value by solving their problems. So today, my lead manager is on the phone with me, and we're going to go over 3 things that I want to add to our script. Okay. So Rachel, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
It's so funny. She doesn't like when I ask her how she's doing on the sales training. She's like, we're gonna get this transition down right, as my voice gets better. But she's like, Courtney, it doesn't sound as smooth. You need to be a little more sophisticated. We're gonna get better with some sophisticated, not get sophisticated, but I appreciate the feedback, Rachel. And so I'm going to share my screen, Rachel. I'm just going to share with you what I shared with Greg earlier. We have another member of our team who's his official title isn't junior acquisition, but that's pretty much what he is. He is the gentleman who, if there's someone who's almost ready to sell, maybe 60 days or further back, he's talking to him, setting it up. But once it gets within that 60, especially 60 to 30 day range, he's handing it off to me. Rachel is like our quarterback. She's sitting back there. Once we have these leads come in that are qualified through our cold calling process, she'll listen to the lead and assign it based on whether or not she feels like it's ready to go, or if it needs more discovery. And she'll either send it to Greg, me, or she'll make calls and follow up. And so it's really important that that you are aware of these skills too. I also want to say, I'm actually opening up my Spotify. If I was sharing my screen, you would see it. The reason I'm doing that is because every morning I just fill my brain with, or just throughout the day, podcasts and readings and things of that nature. And one of my favorite podcasts is Real Estate Disruptors. Steve Trang is an amazing, one of the best sales trainers out there. Never met him before. I'm pretty sure I will one day. But I was listening to one of his recent podcasts, and I'm trying to find it. How did I miss so many of them? Oh my goodness. So he must have just put, I know I was following this I follow it religiously, and now all of a sudden he has February 10th up, February 4th up with Carlos Riaz. Oh, cool. And January 28th. But I'm going to his episode, January 21st with Nathan Brooks. Nope, I'm not going there, Nathan Brooks. That was a beautiful episode, but I'm actually going to, where was it? You know what? I am actually wrong. Shout out to Real Estate Disruptors and Steve Trang. But this was actually another hero of mine, Trevor Mock from Carrot. Carrot is an awesome website. We don't talk about it enough, but it's an awesome company that helps you with your digital marketing, helps you with your presence, we have a Carrot website. I'm pretty sure any of the maybe 60, 70, 80%, maybe even more of the wholesalers that are out there who are really doing it have a Carrot website. But I'm actually talking about Carrot Cast episode number 314 with Chris Chico. So this guy, Chris Chico, is a national wholesaler. He's like the godfather of wholesaling. He was doing virtual wholesaling before there was virtual wholesaling was even a term. He had 3 awesome phrases or things that he asks all of his junior acquisitions and lead managers to ask their leads before they set it up to the acquisition manager. So he really likes to set up the, I guess, almost like the offer presentation in 2 phone calls. That isn't to say that there aren't a ton of follow-up calls to get the lead there and ready, but when that lead is ready there are pretty much 1 phone call where he asks these 3 questions to help set up opportunity for us to hopefully get the price that works for everyone involved. Oh, I'm glad I'm not live. My mom was upset last time when I was, well, she wasn't upset. She just says I need some Kleenex, but it is what it is, mother. So Chris Chico, I want to give shout out to him. Hopefully I can place a link in here if you're watching this on YouTube, and you can learn from him and learn straight from the horse's mouth. But we can get this donkey right here for the time being, right? All right, so let me share my screen, and I'm going to go over it, and then we can try it out, Rachel. All right. Okay. Did I share it? Am I sharing?
Not yet.
All right, here we go. So asking price for seller script. Oh, I see Greg's up here. That's what I'm talking about, Greg. So he's in one of his meetings, but I guess he has it open because this is relatively new. So here's some of the phrases, and I'll just break it down, and then we'll go over what they mean and why. And matter of fact, I may just throw it and ask you what are your thoughts on why we're setting it up like that, and just hear what you're thinking, Rachel, so we get some feedback here. Okay. So after you've gone through the sales process where we have the pattern disruption, we have specific steps that we take in our sales process. There is a stage where you're discovering things using our CPR time. Rachel, what's the CPR time? I'm gonna put you on the spot. CPR time.
Condition, price, reason, and timeline.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you can get 2, 3, 4 of those answered in the first 2 or 3 calls, you find out if you actually have a deal or what you can do if you can serve that seller. And so when you get to the stage where you're talking about the price, I want all of our trainers, all of our folks who are talking to be prepared to say this to the seller who says yes or maybe. And it goes like this. Say, well, typically we're buying in that area and then you're going to Zillow or PropStream, and you will look just like we trained on before. We won't go down that route on this particular sales training, but you'll open up Zillow or PropStream, look at the comps in the area, and if we've bought properties in the area, or if we've assigned contracts in the area, you can give the prices that we range we've been locking the contracts up for, or you can say typically investors are buying in that area at this price, and always give like the lower range, and then ask just as matter of factly, is that about around what you're looking for? And regardless of what the sellers say, they may say, yes, that's what we're looking for, which is awesome. Or they may say, heck, no, what are you doing? Regardless, it's okay, well, thanks. Well, what I'll do is I'll take this back to the underwriting team and see what they come up with. So you're doing a couple of things there. You're doing a flyby to find out where and what the seller's temperament is with the price. You're also starting to move yourself over to the same side of the table with the seller. You and the seller are together as you all try to find out what y'all can do, not necessarily against this underwriting team, but towards the underwriting team, if that makes sense. And so the next stage is, and after you do that, okay, I'm going to take it. You keep bouncing back to, we'll take it back to the underwriting team so that we can see what they come up with for us, us together, us. Okay, well, let me ask you this, and then insert seller's name. We want the seller to hear their name. The most beautiful sound in the world is your name for most people. So, okay, well, let me ask you this. If we can, and then you point to the pain points or the value add propositions that we have. Now, the pain points is going to be specific to the seller. And if you've done your job to listening and active listening and labeling and restating what the seller says, you'll find out if their pain point is that there's a tenant in there that's not paying, or if they're ready to move and buy that boat, or if they're just anxious about getting the funds so they can actually move on out of state or something like that. You'll say, well, if we can, then touch to the pain point. If we can, take it with the seller or with the tenant in there, or if we can take it within 5 days because I know you need to leave, what could you do for us? Or if the pain point wasn't necessarily revealed, you could go to the old, same old thing we usually go to. If we could take it as is, no real estate commissions, what could you do for us? And you state this matter of factly, don't sound like a slick oil salesman. I literally stay there because it's not, what can you do for us? Hey, it's what could you do for us? Okay, gotcha. They're going to state, okay, I could, at the beginning they might have said, I can do 110. Okay, gotcha. Well, let me ask you, you're asking the low timber. Let me ask you, if we came back with 105, is that something you might consider? All right, gotcha. Well, I'm good. I'll let you know. I'll let underwriting know. All right. And then of course, they thanks, Mr. Seller, for thinks about this. So let's send this information to underwriting and see what we can come up with. Is it okay if or if your process is the acquisition manager or whoever's next in the stage calls you back within, and then you give that specific time or time frame? Is it okay if we call you back at 8 o'clock? Is it okay if we call you back after 8? When I say specific, I mean like specific, like after 8, before, not like we'll call you back. I'll call you back next week. Now you really want to like narrow it in as tight as possible, hopefully with the concrete time. But I know that some of our systems and some of our your systems may not allow for that. So it may be better to say call you back after 8 or between 8 and 9. All right, great. All right, awesome. That really sets up the opportunity for the next person or for you to make a promise and fulfill that promise when you call them back at that time and move forward in the investigation and discovery. Here is a bonus. After you've done all that, you should have at that point found out already if it's occupied or vacant because you've already asked those questions, or they filled it out in the script if it's an inbound call. Oh, real quick. This is if they live in the property. So, real quick, Mr. Seller, or John, whoever it is, when we go to close and pay the closing cash at closing, that's usually when you also hand over the keys. But usually what we found is that some of our sellers need money from the closing to be able to go towards their next house. Now, we've been able to structure deals at times to allow the seller time to stay in the home while we're also receiving the cash. Is this something you might need? All right, good. Okay, I'll let the underwriters know, or I'll let the folks know, and we'll get back to you. Okay. All right. Take care. All right. So those are the things we want to incorporate there. And right there, there's a great edge there. And then we'll structure the deal to do a seller sell back. It's a great edge, and it actually does support and help the seller because obviously they need money to move on. So it might separate you or separate us from another investor. What you think about this, rates?
I like it.
Yeah, very cool.
I like
very cool.
I like being mindful of your timbre. We have like trained on previously about mirroring the seller, and so if they're really low key, not being overly boisterous, etc. But
right.
The tone specifically, it's a really nice touch. I like it.
Well, awesome. Well, how about we pretend like we're already midstream in the conversation, and we just go on to this. I'm going to lead you in with what are you guys thinking as far as the price, and then you just go through the script and flow. We'll do it one time, and then we'll just chat about it, and then we'll keep rocking and rolling. What you think?
Okay, so I'm the seller, or
you are. Do you have a copy of this? I dropped this in your chat. Let me drop this in the chat so you have a link here, and then I'm gonna stop sharing so it won't be too much pressure if people are watching on YouTube or something. Because you want to memorize these scripts until they're like really, you don't have to think about them, folks. So I know people, you don't want to sound like a robot, and that repetition is nothing beat repetition. That's why we try to role play a lot. All right, Rachel, ready? And so I'm going to start up on the seller, and I'm going to say, so so what do you all think y'all could do for us? How much you think you all could pay? That's nobody ever asked that, do they? Don't know how much you think you can do for us. So how much you think you can offer?
I am so sorry. My 2-year-old is having an emergency.
It's no problem. I got a couple myself. Well, I used to have them, but
Ask grandma for the kid.
They ain't growing up for me now. I'm in character. Hey, that happens. Use that though, Rachel. First of all, I hope you're doing okay. I know the other day you were saying he was feeling a little under the weather. How's he feeling?
He's getting much better
Oh,
and
good,
quickly too. So I'm thankful.
good. Well, like when real life comes in, I've listened to you actually incorporate it into your calls, and it's very authentic. So if if that does happen, there is nothing wrong with, we're real people. You know, that's something that sets Aqua Team apart too. We're person centered, right? And
Yes.
we're people too. So heck yeah. All right. So tell me when you want me to throw it to you.
Okay, but so when you're leading me in, is that the very top?
Yeah, I think that's the very top. I'm just trying to get you to the very top where you can go into the, well, typically we're buying in, you know, you can open up Zillow and say, typically we're buying in. And then that's where you
Okay,
where you
I'm
where we're
ready.
at. All right. How much you all think you can offer?
Typically we are buying in that area in the high 70s. Is that about around what you were looking for?
No, I need a little more than that. Nah, I need a little more than that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All right, what I'll do is I'll take it back to the underwriting team and I'll see what they come up with.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Well, well, let me ask you this,
Mhm.
Courtney. If we can get this done in the next 14 days and take no real estate commission, what could you do for us?
Um, yeah. Well, I was hoping more around 100,000. You know, that's what we were. How much we got put in there? We were looking for around 100,000.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. So they were coming back at um about 80,000. Is that something you might, or 75,000? Is that something you might consider?
No, I really need 100. I really need 100. Yep, that's yeah. So a little too
Okay,
low.
well, I'll let underwriting know.
Mhm.
Um, well, thanks, Courtney, for thinking about it. So let's send this info to underwriting and see what we can get from them. Is that okay if Greg calls you back within 24 hours
Uh,
to talk to you about it?
sure. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Oh, real quick,
Mhm.
typically, Courtney, when we go to close and pay cash at closing and also hand over the keys, but usually what we find is that our sellers might need the money for closing to be able to use towards the next home. Um, we've been able to structure ideals at times to allow the seller time to stay in the home while we also receive the cash. Is that something you might need?
Y'all can do that. Okay. Well, I've never really done that before, but I mean, never thought about that. But let me talk to. Yeah, that might be helpful. That might just be
Okay.
helpful. Um,
All right, thanks. All right,
that-
so I'll
that- that-
update the
mhm.
underwriting team and then let's see what we can get from them.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so just to recap, you will be hearing from Greg tomorrow
Oh, I love it.
before 5 p.m.
Awesome.
and we're going to talk to underwriting and see if we can get
Oh
them up
man.
to that number you're looking for.
That sounds great. That sounds great. All right, Rachel. Oh my gosh. Awesome. I love the recap. Way to bring the recap in, way to set the rules again so they can, they have that pre-commitment to understand. Oh, I love that, y'all. Give her a round of applause. Everybody give a one hand clap. See all that loud applause, that standing ovation. Um, you're reading it. She literally read, she even read my typos. And it still did a great job. Like I said, ideal, our deals, not ideal, but but it sounds, I mean, it sounds, you had a nice flow for someone who's just literally reading it. So imagine when we're have this the concepts embedded and we know. Um yeah, yeah, Rachel, I appreciate that. And we're gonna keep on working on that, and I'm
Absolutely.
gonna bring that to Greg and all. Awesome job. Any critiques you have or thoughts you have about that could help folks out there and help us do better?
Um, no, I think it's pretty thorough. Should we ask everybody if they might need time in the property?
if only if they're if we know that they occupy the property.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if they're not, because we've already, this is like halfway through the conversation, and if they're not, if you've already discovered if it's vacant or occupied or not, or we're coming off that assumption, so we would only ask that, and that shows we're responsive to listening and all that good to what they've told us before. So
Okay.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Awesome. We're gonna keep workshopping these as we go through. I'm gonna try. Hopefully, I can say something today. I'm actually about to jump on IG and Facebook Live to do our live cold calls. Folks, this is our sales training. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and share. That helps us get this out to as many people as possible. If you have suggestions or anything, holler at us. If you want to work with us, hey, we're always looking for great folks to come on the team. And yeah, we'd love to work with you. If you have deals out there, hey, or if you want to structure or look for deals, or find out how to structure and deal with deals, blah, blah, blah. Holler at us. We love to share. We love to give back, and we love to watch people grow. And yeah, be a part of that journey. It'd be great. All right, Rachel, thanks so much for all that you do. And I'm going to wrap this up and walk my dog and get ready to jump back on.
All right. Bye.
All right. Tell little one I said bye. I'm glad he's feeling better.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Rising tides lifts all sails. Peace.